microphone is working. I seem to be having some strange problems with it, so please do let me know. Oh, I know it's not working right now. Hang on just a second. Letting me know. I'm quite dismayed by that again. It's becoming my mantra, isn't it? Dismayed by a lack of sound. Oh, maybe this will help. Let me try it again before I give up. Okay, thanks. One more try. One more try. Let's see if I can fix that. It does make a little difference whether you plug in the microphone. Sound is good? All right. Thank you, friends. Appreciate it. So, okay, I'm painting at a fundraiser, and I'm painting on a landing, halfway upstairs, halfway down. Very different, and got a lot of work to do. I have to have the 24 by 36 all finished by 8 o'clock. So I have 3 hours to do a fair-sized painting. I don't know about you, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. Okay, so, and I'm literally on a landing. It's like an industrial landing, if you know what I mean by that. It's not a, like a Gone with the Wind type, Victorian, gorgeous, nothing like that. No, it's a very utilitarian landing, and will make for some interesting drawing. I'm hoping that I can pull it off, and that is honest truth. I am hoping I can pull this off. Lots of railings, and again, the star of this painting will be the people, the figures that take up the space. I am in a building called Art Space, so I am in an artsy place. Maybe that's part of the reason why I feel like I have the nerve to try something as crazy as this. So we will find out together if this is going to work. I'm strongly, especially in a situation like this, I strongly follow my own advice of blobbing in a painting. And even though it looks like I'm drawing right now, I mean, kind of facetious, I am drawing, of course. This is drawing. But the difference is I don't put my weight down. I don't have confidence that the drawing that I'm doing right now, there's a piano, grand piano up here. That's the first thing that gives you any kind of sense of scale. Pedals, bench, and there's a painting on the wall. So I'm in a space called Art Space, and it is just like it sounds. This is a establishment, I think it's been here about 30 years, supported by the city government to support the arts, and there are about 25 or 30, don't quote me on that. I don't know exactly how many artists there are in Art Space, but somewhere in the vicinity of 25 to 35, I would think, artists. One of you, if you're watching and know, you can tell me what is the correct number. How many artists are in art space?
I'm not sure what grade or...
Oh, that's not your job.
I think they rent this space here to treatment.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much, there you can see a little bit of my outfit. I'm wearing the tux shirt, the new red bow tie, and the red apron. Don't I look good? Do I look good? And festive, yeah, good. And people will say, how do you paint without getting, how do you do that without getting paint on your clothes? And the answer is, well, I get paint on my clothes. I look good from the back. There's not much paint on the back, I'm happy to say. Okay, while that is drying, let me do my second layer. Oh, did I say I am drawing, but I don't trust that the lines that I've just put down are in fact in the correct place. So that's a key instruction here. Put down lines, but don't trust that they're correct. There's going to be live music somewhere tonight. I don't know how close I'm going to be to it. And even though I'm drawing now with pencils, once again, I don't completely trust that these lines are correct. These are just my second guess as to where things fall. With each drawing, of course, my goal is to get slightly more accurate. And again, so the hope is there, don't put your weight down early. Reserve judgment for later. In case you have to change your mind, I say to myself, and I say to any students that are listening. So far, I'm finding that my initial drawing actually was remarkably accurate. Again, this line is not accurate. Let me move this over quite a bit. There we go. I operate on the assumption that you have to start somewhere. Especially when you're in a hurry, you have to start somewhere. And if you just sit and wait until you're confident, way too much time will go by. So just slap something down quick and then make corrections later. Does that make sense? Let me see if any of you guys have made comments. Yeah, thank you. Can't hear me, there's no sound, but now their sound is good, not anymore. Tis okay. Thank you. I started painting with two hands. Yay, way to go, Toby. My good man. Thank you. I hate you, I love you. We either have bad luck, bad romance going on our channel here, or friends are talking to each other. Thanks, guys. I will definitely put somebody here playing the piano. I don't know if anybody's going to be playing the piano tonight or not, but in my piano, and in my painting, there's going to be somebody here painting, okay? Wow, there's a whole bunch of stuff up here that I'm just all kinds of girders and pipes in the ceiling, all kinds of stuff that I'm not gonna try very hard to capture. Way too much stuff. More I-beams. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Okay, way up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 railings. Wow, that's a lot. And I know you can't see this, but I need to draw paint on the side of the canvas too, so let's go ahead and get that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How about that? Whoops, I was mistaken. All of that needs to get eliminated. This is the underside of stairs going over here. Okay. Stairs, I'm on halfway between the ground floors below me. I'm on a landing halfway up. And certainly.
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah, it's in the lobby. It looks nice.
Yeah, thank you. The name of the place here is Art Space. SPACSPASP. Art Space. ART. This would be kind of cool if I can get the word in. That's cool. I can just barely get the word in there. That's nice. Hello. Okay, now before I go any further, let me try to figure out where people are going to be in this painting. As I said, it's supposed to be mostly about the people, so let's put a couple people up here. A couple people behind the piano player. You'll notice a couple things when I'm painting crowds of people, which I do quite a bit. I have a couple routine things that I do. One is that I tend to do people in pairs. And call me old-fashioned if you want, but I tend to do most of my people. There's a tall one and a short one. And the tall one is usually a little more masculine and the short one a little more feminine. Let's make a trio of that one. Good. And a person on the stairs. Oh, I know. I tend to forget this. I know how to draw figures, but sometimes in the rush of the moment, I forget a few things. For instance, I tend to make my people too much standing up straight, shoulders straight across. See these right here, shoulders straight across. So let's go back and make a few adjustments here. Once you get the shoulders, if you're drawing people from the top down, same thing with the head. If you make the head a little akimbo, people don't normally, I mean they do sometimes, but when they're talking, they're on one leg or another, hip up, and so we get the classic S shape of a human being. And if you don't know what I mean by the S shape, then just Google that. Figure drawing S shape. That should get it for you. It shows how if the shoulder's going up, the opposite hips are going down. You can't see my whole body, but you can probably tell what I'm doing with my hips just by looking at my shoulders. So I need to remember to do that. Now, do I have enough people? I don't want a head right there in the middle. Just for fun, there'll be people down here. Let's just do a few so people get the idea that this is downstairs. Some people way down there. Okay, kind of fun. Okay, now that most of my initial acrylic stuff is dry, and let's just make sure that it is by taking a damp brush and wiping it through. Yeah, most of it is dry. So I should be able to proceed to another glaze. And I guess I'll try to do ultramarine. The room that I'm in I'm adding a little phthalo to that. The room that I'm in is really overwhelmingly warm in color, in tone. So, but I don't want, of course, I don't want a painting. That's a realistic detail I don't necessarily want to follow. I don't want a painting that is all warm. That would be boring. So I'm looking for any place where in the scene around me, any place where I see even a hint of coolness, and at the moment I'm going to exaggerate it. Yeah, the bottom of these stairs over here. Just so anything that's shadow, again, because the lights, most of the lights in the room are warm. That's why the room feels so warm. So anywhere there's shadow, I'm going to try to, let's bring a little purple in just for fun. Yeah. A little bit of stuff. And the piano is warm, but it's dark. So I'm going to slap some, and the shadow under the piano is dark. There we go. And there's a painting here that also is warm, but we're going to make it cool, at least right now. And even rinse out those brushes. I like to teach all the time. Of course I like to teach. You cannot paint slowly, meticulously, fastidiously, one of my favorite words for bad painting, fastidious. You cannot paint fastidiously and make it look like you painted freely. In order to paint, in order for it to look like you painted freely, guess what? You actually have to paint freely. And that means, to some degree, a lack of control. And that's what students need to come to peace with, need to come to grips with. Everybody says they want to get loose. I mean, I never met a painter yet that said, oh, I wish I could paint tighter. Because ironically, painting tight is easy. It takes time, takes a long time, don't get me wrong. Painting tight takes time, like doing a jigsaw puzzle, but it's not hard. It's just like doing a jigsaw puzzle. You just, at least for those, I guess for those of us who like jigsaw puzzles, that analogy will make sense. For those of you who hate jigsaw puzzles, it won't make any sense. But anyway, they're not hard, they're fun, but they take a long time. That's the way realism is, in my opinion. So my whole technique, what you see me doing from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year on my channel, my whole painting technique is predicated on this notion that the viewer's mind wants to finish the picture. So that the artist may not, again, in my world, lately I've been calling it the world of Rembrandt and Frans Hals, just to name another, anchor in the world of painterly painting. Frans Hals, look him up. In our world, painting loose is the ticket. But painting loose means a lack of control. That means you make mistakes, right? It goes without saying, although I've said it now. If you paint loose, you make mistakes. And I just now realize that I'm really in your way, aren't I? Alas, my easel is, my tripod is nailed down. Not nailed, but let me see if I can do anything about this. Hang on, I'm going to tip you sideways just for a minute, okay? Oh, that wasn't so bad, was it? Hi, Barbara. Good to hear from you. Taike, please give me quistase. I'm not sure what that means. It sounded good, though. Ty, give me a chance again. If you're trying to tell me something, send that message again because I missed it. Okay, so I was saying, if you paint loose, then you can't paint accurate. Like those are mutually exclusive terms, right? And that's why most people don't want to paint loose because they're afraid of inaccurate painting. Right? Right. But if you can learn to paint in layers, with each layer just getting slightly more accurate than the layer before, then in fact you can have it both. So that's one way to describe what I call good painting, or my way of painting. If I didn't think my way of painting was good, I'd do it a different way of painting. And of course, sometimes I do, but that's another story. Paint loose, but paint in layer. Did I say that word enough times? So that you have the freedom to paint loosely and make corrections, little corrections as you go. I've never quite put it that way before. You are the first to hear it. But it makes sense, doesn't it? I think the tendency among way too many students, so I'm being careful now. Head goes this way, shoulders go this way, therefore the body goes this way. So this person's they're bending this leg. Does that make sense? If their shoulders this way, then they're standing on their right leg if they're facing us. And they've got one hand on their hip, and with their other hand they're holding a drink right there. Okay. Whoops, that hand sticks out too long, but we'll fix it later. See what I mean? You can't be accurate and loose and fast at the same time. You can be halfway accurate, halfway loose, but not real. So if you're bent on, I'll put it, if you're hell bent on accuracy, you can't paint loose. So pick your battles. I say looseness is worth the effort. Lots of steel conduit. I don't know what you'd call it. Whoops, that line is erroneous. There's again another mistake. Lots of mistakes galore. Get comfortable with making mistakes, because get comfortable with the notion that you're going to come back and fix them later. Okay, I'm beating that horse to death, haven't I? Any other comments while I'm here? Jan, welcome from California. Thanks so much for got to give it up immensely. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate it. Thanks for making comments, you guys. And I'm broadcasting a little different tonight because of where I am physically. I'm using my camera on the back camera mode, the selfie mode, which I don't usually do. So because I can't get behind the camera today. Trust me, I can't. Okay, let's put some people down here. One around the corner of the canvas. There. Now, let's do some brown, since I'm drawing right now. Does everybody here know about the dance of painting? Everybody know the dance of painting? If you follow me much, you've heard it. And again, I don't want to bore you regulars to death, but there's always somebody new that's getting on and hasn't heard it. Okay. Listen to this. You ready? You ready to take notes? This is take note time. The dance of painting. Introductory statement. Good paintings are the result of good process. Let me repeat that. Good paintings are not the product of good painting. If I may twist the language ever so slightly. Good painting is not the product of good painting. Good painting is the product of good process. And if you have a good process that you use, then you will produce good paintings. Now, I've come up with a word picture, an analogy to describe what I think is a good painting process. The analogy is that of a dance. Now, I don't mean like mosh pit dancing. I don't mean even like the waltz. I mean like a choreographer. A Broadway musical choreographer tells the 30 people on stage how to dance. This, that, and the other. Okay, so it's complicated steps, if you will. Good dance process. So good painting can be compared to a good dance. And in a good dance, there are different kinds of steps, right? If you go to the ballet or you go to a modern dance audition of any concert of any kind, you're going to see you're probably going to say, I didn't know the human body could do that. That's what I say all the time when I watch those people, like, dang, who thought of that? I didn't know the human body could do that. Here are the dance steps of painting. There are large steps and small steps, light steps and dark steps, literal steps and artsy steps. Let me say that again. A good dance, painting dance, is large, and I'll translate this time. Large marks. Let me hold up a brush. What do I mean by large marks? Large marks and small marks. Or large marks, if you're crazy like me and you're using a pencil, small marks. See the difference? Large, small. Then there are light steps and dark steps. Now I haven't done any light steps yet at all, so it's about time. This whole tray of paint is all filled with dark steps, except for this one tub right here, which is white paint. That'd be the light step. And when it comes to oil, you can wipe off with a rag. That's a light step. So large and small, light and dark, and literal. That means when you're drawing, trying to capture the essence of your subject matter. That's literal. And expressive or artistic marks. Like what I'm doing right now are artistic marks. The marks that I'm making right now are free and expressive, happy, interesting, and good, but they are not literal. They do not add to the literalness of the drawing. Make sense? So there's the three couplets. Large, the first letter in each case begins with an L. Large and small, light and dark, literal and expressive or artsy. Then, overlaying those three couplets, those 6 different steps, are playing with transparent, translucent, and opaque. And it's the middle one that is the magic sauce. There's transparent. Now, some of you don't know transparent, and you need to get acquainted with that. But that's really that's really basic stuff. You need to understand the magic of transparency if you're an opaque painter, in my opinion. But the real magic sauce is in the translucent, where you can see through it partly. That's where I can create a painting in 30 minutes that looks like it took weeks to paint. That's a slight exaggeration, but I can create patinas. That's a good word. I can create a texture, a patina, in acrylics using especially translucent. It looks like it took weeks to paint. Here comes a dog. Hello. Wow, fun. Okay, so the idea of a good dance is you don't, here's my jumping on my right foot. Jump, 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 bad dance, bad dance. Maybe I could do 3 on one foot and that's it. Same thing with painting. You don't want to do light, 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 light. You don't want to do dark, 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 dark. You don't want to do large, 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 large. You want to do light, dark, large, small, light, dark, large, small, literal, expressive, literal, expressive, and opaque, translucent, and transparent. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking for a minute and get back to painting. I started this painting right at about 5 o'clock, I believe, and I've got to be done. The auction takes place at 8. And I don't know about you, but 24 by 36 inch painting in 3 hours is like, that is not, in my book, not a luxurious amount of time. So I am taking off. Yeah, I am taking off. I got ways to go. This thing's supposed to be done at 8 o'clock. Oh, thank you. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. So now I'm doing a light step, my first light step. And I always like doing, the first light step is always a lot of fun. Because I'm looking at my subject matter, the area around me, I'm looking at it through a different filter. Our eyes are naturally drawn to outlines of things. But when you switch to light, we're not doing outlines anymore. I hope that makes sense to you. When you switch to rendering a scene, focusing on light marks, even, okay, here's an exception. I was doing outlines right there, the mullions in that big window. But when you switch to light marks, you're really not focused on outlines anymore. You look at the subject matter through a very different lens. And it's always fun because you see it very differently. Judy, I think this side is clean. Hello. Good to see you.
Good.
I'm good.
I realized after a minute.
Yeah. Either I am, and this is just an excuse to make me look like I'm not insane. Oh, so good to see you. How are you?
How are you doing here?
I am. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this painting has to be done by 8 o'clock, so. No. Yeah, so that's fast, eh? Yeah. It's 3 hours to do it 24 by 36. I try to tell myself, I'm a trained professional. I've done this before. Whatever that means. So do you hang out here much? Are you still here? Oh, good. Oh, so I wasn't even sure that you were here. Uh-huh. Well, good. Good. Oh, you mean you stayed a while tonight because they wanted some studios open? Oh, that's nice of you. Thank you. Yeah, kind of risky painting the people that are coming before they're even here. And I'm putting somebody at the piano. I don't know if there's going to be anybody playing the piano tonight, but there is in my painting. Talk about a challenging angle, huh?
Challenging what?
Angle.
Yeah, but it's very scary.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It should be interesting, if nothing else.
Some of the things I would have avoided doing are
Oh, good. I just didn't know any better. Should I tell my friends who I'm talking to? Come here. And turn around. This is my dear friend Judy Crane, fabulous artist. Look her up. Judy Crane, Crane. You won't be disappointed. Wonderful friend in Raleigh artist. Thank you. Yeah, this is YouTube. I started on Facebook, but just switched in this past year. But it's a constant struggle. I spent all day today rethinking my marketing. Yeah, this is the fast part. It gets slower as I go. Rethinking marketing strategy. Oh, yucky. All the yucky stuff. We love painting. We hate doing all the other stuff, right? Now, I do like broadcasting. I will say that it hits me in a sweet spot. But I don't like all the other stuff. But it has to be done. So, yeah.
Okay, so while you're doing this,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. The very first thing I did was the yellow-orange, just big splash. Mostly a blob here and a blob there for up here and down there. And then while that was drying, I did the drawing because I didn't want to mess it up. I wanted it to dry. So I did the drawing in red, but I do my initial drawing and I don't trust it. I don't count. I'm not sure that the lines are in the right place. That's the way I found. Just slap something down and then make adjustments as you go. And then, so it was still wet, then the red was wet, so I actually went straight. I've been using pencils. I don't know I've been using these pencils in my oil painting. 2 years ago, I did a whole bunch of abstract paintings and used these pencils and found I liked the juxtaposition of painting and scratchy lines so much that I started using them in my regular stuff.
and you're using the oil
Yes, exactly. I'll use them at least one more layer.
on top of the oil.
Yep.
Even when it's
Yep.
wet.
Yep. exactly. They smoosh really nicely with oils. And that was to let the yellow gold and the red dry. And then at the end of the pencils, it was dry enough that I could do some blues. And as soon as this white is mostly dry, I'm ready for another layer of warm. And I do this trick, especially with the white layer, to help it dry, because I'm in a hurry, as you can imagine. So I'll do things like this to spread out. And as long as you do it with real energy, it makes nice marks. You can't go like this. But if I go like this, it actually usually makes my white marks even more winsome than they were. Just that energy, you know. And now it'll dry. It's almost dry already, just from doing that. So I'm ready for my next layer of whatever color I want, but I think I want warm. I mean, look, it's overwhelmingly warm in here. I'm going to be exaggerating to create some cool colors, but things like the stairs and so, yeah, ready to do warm again. Woohoo! I saw a tiny hint of green up there. Not so anybody else would notice, but it was enough of an excuse, because I'm really looking for color, an excuse for color in here. This is probably driving you crazy, isn't it? It's like, ooh, I wouldn't have done that. She says, ooh, I wouldn't have done that. Yes, it did me too. It did me too. But then I decided to leave it. Because I tend to be too conservative across the board. That's why I paint this way, because it's a compensating for years ago when I was an illustrator. A good friend of mine, a fellow graphic designer, he said, "Dan, your favorite colors are brown and gray." It's so funny because he was exactly correct. And I still have that personality. Like, I can really get into gloomy, whatever, moody paintings. I still like them. I think more than most people do. So, yeah, all of this is trying to compensate for. Yeah. So now that's really wet. Yeah, no, I am. All these pots, except for the white, all these pots are like 50% medium. And that's a good place for me to pause with these people. Let me see if I've got any big, wonderful comments. Is impasto or thick paint part of the dance? That's a good question. I could do thick and thin, couldn't I? Could be another a couplet. Love to watch you paint. I've been watching for quite a few years and have learned a lot. Thank you for sharing your work. You're very welcome, Deborah B. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in a little while, guys. Going to take a break here. Wait for that canvas to dry.